Technology is amazing, isn't it, really? And all the digital cameras are terrific.
Yes, yes.
Have you got a camera?
Yes, I have actually.
Yes,
but,
that's made all the difference, hasn't it? You remember when you had film?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had to think, no, I've only got 30 exposures, so you were calculating, and you didn't have to waste anything. Or
run out when you...
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing that in there, there's a little tiny card, and it records it all onto that little card. Whereas before that, there was tapes and things using up all this battery power and all that. It's amazing.
Prime Minister, when I came, he had a great big trunk on wheels, you know.
Right, that's it. To take. Right. I know, everything gets smaller and smaller, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I've got those for the... somewhere. Yes, I mean...
That's right, that's it, you're up to date.
Hours.
That's right, exactly.
It's a box is full of it.
I don't know. Yes.
Yes, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. It's made the experience of photography completely different, hasn't it, really? Because you can take any number and you can delete the ones you're not, and you can put them on the computer.
Do all sorts of things with
yes.
If I just go through quickly, Ray.
Yes.
So 1922 you were born, wasn't it? 1922?
21.
21.
18th of May 1921.
18th of May 1921. That's lovely. Okay, we know your parents, so that's okay.
Yes.
So where did you start off? What was your...
in Shanklin.
Shanklin, right. Okay.
The house is still there, but there's no notice on the door.
Well, that'll have to be addressed. A blue plaque.
Yes,
that's right. Do you remember what was the address?
St Paul's Avenue, I think. Yes.
St Paul's Avenue. I can always check up on all this, so it's just good to have it sort of...
St Paul's Avenue. It was quite a nice... It was a turning off the main street.
Right.
There's a church in the main street. There's a little row of houses round.
Right.
That's
what's so good these days, on Google Maps, you can go in, you can put an address in, and then you can go to the town and then find it, just like that, you know. So you can look at something before you've even gone there, which is very useful sometimes.
Says if you come to Quarr, they've left us off. It just says on.
Right. So how long did you live there for?
Well, to start a little earlier, my parents, I suppose when they married, they had the top half of St Paul's Avenue.
Right.
And my grandfather, they were on the ground floor.
Oh, so you had two families in one house, sort of thing.
But they're quite a big house.
Yes,
you know.
I know. That was nice in those days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, now it's 2 or 3 flats. You know?
Right.
I've seen it recently. The house next door is the same as it was, but the one that we were in was split up into flats.
Right,
you know,
right.
But they're quite nice houses, you know.
You went to the school near there, did you?
Well, that's another question.
Right.
Well, you didn't start school till you were 5 in those days, did you?
Right.
And yes, when I was 4, that's when my grandfather died.
Right.
And we looked under the blinds because all the blinds are pulled, you know.
Yes.
And we saw him go off, but
something that stays in your mind, doesn't it?
Yes, my mother said, you know, he's gone to heaven. I said, no, he's dead, you know. But and then we sort of stayed on there. Really, we had the. Yes, the story was, he said, I hear a baby cry. Not me.
Right. I was a terrible baby, apparently. I used to cry, used to drive everyone mad, you know.
Yeah. Well, the next door, one year they had their concert party from the pier, you see there.
Right.
And they had a little girl about my age, you know. And they were all talking about my wife and my husband and I. And I said, she's my wife, and they all laugh, you know. But what happened there, they gave my mother a ticket to go to the show. And of course,
that's good, isn't it?
I left a friend and my father would look after me, and of course I cried all the time.
Right.
My grandfather had to go down to the theatre
and bring her back.
and find her and bring her back, and I stopped, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
You were the only child of your parents, weren't you?
Yes. They think that's enough. But, and then, yes, the question of school. When I was 5, I had to go to school. And
was that quite near the school?
The nearest one was the Catholic school just round the corner here.
Right.
But wise neighbours, you haven't got to be a Catholic, but they'll get you in the end, you know.
That's right.
And so
which they did.
Yes, I saved any chance. I went to Batton Lake School.
Batton Lake.
Gatton, Gas.
Is that Baton?
No, it's Gatton, I think.
Catton.
It's still there, and what is now sort of cancer premises or. But I had to walk over a mile.
I know. I used to walk to school too. Yes. And cycle.
The boy across the road was a year older, and he was supposed to keep an eye on me.
What age did you leave school? Do you reckon? 14 or something like that?
Yes, I mean it was 14.
Yeah, I was 14.
Yes, 14.
Right.
We moved to Southampton by then because the man said somewhere. My father wanted the day off to go to his father's funeral. The boss said,
I remember
you
you said that.
You can have a day off, but don't come back.
That's
you
terrible,
could do it in
isn't it?
those days. Yeah.
Incredible.
And yes, they just started half days, I think, but the half day started when you finished your day's work, you know.
I know. We used to get when I worked at the shop, we used to work a 6-day week, but we'd get a half day on Saturday then.
Yeah.
And a fortnight's holiday a year.
Yeah. And where were we?
So
went to school there, yes.
Yeah, you moved to Southampton.
Yeah, well, there was a break in that because we moved to my mother's home in Newport.
Right.
In the interim sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
I went to the posh school across the road. It
Right.
was in an attic, you know, with a skylight.
Was that a boarding?
That was a posh school.
Oh, right.
It was Miss Somebody's school, you know. And that was the sort of place to go. But it was just across the road something. I don't know. But I went there until we moved to Southampton. They got a friend's got a house. 65 Bishop's Road, Alston.
65.
Still there, then.
Bishop's Road.
It was 250 or something.
Right. So,
House of the Garden.
So what happened? What happened after your school days?
Yes. Well, when I went there, one day I had to stay at school and take sandwiches because my mother was going somewhere for the day.
Right.
And so she said, "How do you get on?" And I came back and said, "Oh yes, except for that bloody wasp." And of course, we don't say things like that. And so I went to one of these private schools quite near in Woolston, quite near. In Woolston, it's the other half of Southampton.
Oh, I see. Right.
It was a real.
Is that WOOL?
Yes, yes,
STON.
And that was a real school because there really were 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 forms, you know.
Right.
And
a boys' school. A boys' school, of course.
No, the mixed one.
A mixed,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was there for a year. I was a guinea term. And she married, and so my parents, we had school teachers all around us, and they consulted the headmaster on the school. You should save money until after you finish this, but no money left by then.
What were you best at school? What was your favourite sort of thing?
Arithmetic was,
right,
you know,
right.
because
that's my worst subject. I'm terrible at that.
But I mean, just sums, you know. But and the teachers, I mean, they packed up at 4 o'clock, the same as everybody else, you know.
Right.
But I was still going to home from them. She'd say it was a mile or so, you know, back then. That was all right. And but then, when I was 14, there was the scholarships.
Right.
And it was only the best results went through, you know, and there were so many places. And
you had to
didn't matter how good you were otherwise.
Right. So they picked out the top ones, did they?
And there were only 5 from our school.
Right.
It was an average every year 5, you know.
Right.
Now every 5 didn't pass, you know.
Did you manage to get one of those?
No. And but the unemployment rep sort of came round and saw those that were about to, because I was May, I should have stayed on till July, I think.
So this would have been sort of late 30s, I suppose, would it be something like that?
34,
yes.
34, 35, yeah, 20, yeah. And next thing I knew was I had a thing to report to the unemployment place on Saturday morning. Yeah.
Right.
And the following week they gave me a card. Go to this address.
Right.
And the 3 of us went along and I was chosen, so I don't really know much about the unemployment. But it was quite a nice firm. They were fruit importer as well. And so I learned quite a lot about fruit.
I bet, yes.
And of course the jobs I did are all done by email and mobile phones now, you know.
They are now, aren't they?
So, but that was interesting, and that was a nice firm to work for. But usually came in on a Monday, you'd be busy for the first few days, and by the end of the week, well, you weren't busy.
Not much to do.
Nobody minded. I mean, that was it. And we did eventually get round to having alternate. So
how long were you there?
Until I joined the Navy.
Right.
I was quite happy there. You know.
What made you join the Navy? With sort of people you knew, or?
Well, I thought that was the best.
You had a sort of feeling for adventure.
Well, you always had a bed to go and get into.
To join the Navy.
And as I say, I don't know, I said this yesterday, but there's the government took over the distribution of oranges, for for the children, things like that.
Yes.
So there was nothing for us to do. So the boss said to me, well, he said, you'll be called up soon, Here's a month's pay, all the best, you better go and sign on it.
So obviously this is just before the
war
Second World War.
Yeah, it was about 1941, I suppose, 41.
Right.
So,
so would you
I
say
would have been 30.
Would you say you joined the Navy about 1940-ish? Would it be? Or a bit before?
I didn't give you the exact dates, I think. January 41, I suppose. Under 41, I joined in 42, because they were, 1940, in 25th of March 1942, I think.
Really?
Yes.
It's very good to know that.
And so I should have been called up before, because I volunteered. The volunteer sort of, I was on the volunteer list, So all the others got called up before me. So I had to go back to the employment exchange. And they got fed up with me, so they gave me a job the other side of the counter.
Right.
That was in the days when every year your insurance cards had to be renewed,
Right.
And so I got a job with about half a dozen others, just making out these things. And so after that I went back on the dole. And the man that was in charge of these cars, he said to me, he said, here's a card for you to go to this, and this asked me, you're the only one applying. He said, but he stutters, so don't sort of get the giggles. So,
very useful advice, actually.
So I went along and saw the secretary of a building firm, and saw him, and he said, how much do you get paid? So I told him what I got paid in the unemployment. So and the job was to do the wages on a building site. There was a building, they were building temporary accommodation in case Southampton was bombed, You could be all packed in these Nissen huts, And that was all right.
Can you remember the name of the building firm?
Yes, I can. I could. It's gone now.
I'll come back to that one.
Begins with a B, it's quite a big firm now.
Right. It's still going, is it? Do you think?
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
Be something, Tell you tomorrow. And so went out this. We had I just had the foreman of the works, and the sort of agent, and me, and on the wages for about 200 or more people.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
All by hand. All you have was the ready reckoner, computers and calculators. But so I had to go on stay on the site,
How long were you working for that firm?
About 6 months until I was called up. I was called up and said, I want a week to say goodbye to all my relations. I was always going to go then.
Where did you go off to then?
They never expected to see
you again.
You're going to know, But I had a week and so,
What did you do when you joined the Navy? What was your sort of thing?
Yes, well, I was a supply in the supply branch.
Sorry?
Supply branch.
Supply branch?
Supply.
So you supplied other ships or something?
Yeah. I didn't do much of that really. The supply branch was divided into, well, there was the writers, they were the accounts, wages and things like that. And there's the
so it's a
other
bit
lot.
similar to what you'd done before,
Yes,
the building firm in a way.
yeah. But I was in the supply branch, which was
see.
just a storekeeper, you know.
Oh, right.
Somebody wanted some 6-inch nails.
Right.
Where's the chit, you know?
Yes.
And, but I had a month at Skegness,
Right.
where we did all the house stuff, getting up.
My mother was at Skegness. You might have been there at the same time.
Yeah. They get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, have a cup of coffee and cocoa rather, out in the strip to the waist and doing your exercises.
Right.
And there was Skegness. It's quite sort of.
It's quite bracing.
Yes, is the word, isn't it? Okay.
But had a month.
My mother was in the bank there, I think it was, in Skegness.
Yes. But then we went to London. Forgotten what it was called. Come back. The school, posh school that had been.
In London?
Highgate.
Oh, right.
I like to be able to say I went to Highgate School.
Sounds good.
But it was taken over by the Navy. But still run like a school because we assembled in the morning when the captain arrived on 9 o'clock. Good morning, sir. Good morning, men. And well, that was the first week. We stayed in the accommodation in the school, you know.
Right.
But after that, we were billeted out round about, you know.
Yes, right.
And the landlady's got so much allowance for us and coupons and all that.
Yeah.
But we were free from 5 o'clock. So I learned quite a lot about London then. I mean,
You used to go to different places around?
yeah, I mean,
museums and things?
well, I don't know about those so much.
Right.
You could wander around, you know, the West End and the city. You know, hardly anywhere about,
Yes, see the sights.
But then you'd some of the suburbs, you know.
Would it have been blackout then when you were going around?
Yes, but it was summertime,
Right,
wasn't it?
so it had long evenings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a sort of wander about.
Were you there in the bombing?
No, we were lucky. Well, I mean, there was bombing, but not where I was.
Good. Right.
But then what was it? We learned sort of different areas, you know, Tottenham and round about different. We're quite good on the underground, you know. But there was.
Did you have to go into air raid shelters at all ever?
No, we didn't.
No.
We didn't spend the night in any of those things.
Very wise.
No, it was quiet at that time. You may hear the bombing in London, but it only meant it was in the suburbs somewhere. And so we had 3 months there.
Right.
That was learning how to fill out forms, you know.
What happened after that?
Well, that's when we got sent to a depot, which was Leon Solent across the road.
Right.
And they wanted volunteers for the for the Fleet Air Arm. And so that meant another month, you know. So I said, yes, well, I'll have a go at that. So I went for the Fleet Air Arm. Their training house was also not far from Leon Solent, a house, you know. And we learned how to parts of planes, you know, wings and wheels and things like that.
Yes.
And so then I got to, I've been lucky all the time, as you probably know. Got sent to the Fleet Air Base near Winchester.
Oh, right.
And so that was all I had to do. You know, somebody come with a phone for 6 screws or something like that. There we are. And I was there for about a year. And then I got drafted.
Right.
I was sent up to Scotland, Dumfries, to a sort of transit camp. And we were all there not knowing what was going to happen to us. Spent several days just 2 of us carrying a box around, just, you know, as long as you're doing something, no questions asked,
Yes.
you know.
Right.
And then we were going to sail on a Monday morning or something like that from Glasgow on a troop ship.
Right.
The Mary Poser, I think, the Mary Poser. But of course, it had bunks all over the place, you know. And it was had prisoners, you know, they had more food than we did because of the regulations, you know. We got 2 meals a day, well, they're quite good meals, you know, but there's nothing much to do in between. You know. It was sort of, I mean, you get half a tin chicken, you know, so but you had these big meals. Sometimes people got halfway there and then they had to go on. But it suited. And it was unescorted because, well, it was so fast that
nothing could catch them.
it was worked out that if you go this way and that way,
I know.
you'll
Miss any torpedoes or something.
yes. We'll tell you if there's any U-boats on it. So that was interesting. It was nice weather, you know. And then we arrived in New York on a Sunday morning. There's bands playing, returning, you know, wounded and all that. And these prisoners were marched off, you know. Eventually we came up. Went to New Jersey.
Right.
It was funny that one day when you get in a train, the next thing you find it's coming off somewhere else. Yeah, these floating bridges sing New Jersey. So I went to New Jersey. Oh, well, we got some food, I think. But we were billeted in one of those hotels, you know.
Right.
About 6 in a room, but I mean. And so, we had to have a medical first, but then eventually we got something to eat and that. And the next day we were just all interviewed and so we were on the seaside there, you know, and we got flooded, I expect, recently. And we went there, about half a dozen of us, and there were these stalls with oranges, you know.
Right.
We'd never seen an orange. Oh, so can I have an orange, please? Yes, yeah. And of course they put half a dozen in the squeeze and out comes the juice, you know.
That's right.
Luxury.
Lovely.
Eat an orange, you know. So we got an extra few dollars for that, but and we were there for a few days.
Right.
And we had to get the train up to Vancouver.
Right.
Oh, I did, I forget that. And we've got to get to Boston before that. Yes, we were at, I was at New Jersey, and then it was up to Boston.
Boston, right.
And so...
Fine city, Boston.
Yes, that was...
Yes.
And you're welcome now, because all the policemen were Irishmen.
Right. Home from home.
Yeah. And we were on this airfield, just outside of Squantum. And of course they didn't bother much about us. We did what we liked, more or less. The main thing, the whole lot of us were to maintain these aircraft that they were training on, you see. So, I think we could go out most nights if you had any money. But if you just stood outside the camp and a car would come along, one or left.
That's very good, isn't it?
And so two of us went down. This my first night. Boston anyway, so decided to drop us at Central Point, We got out and which way, and old man came along. He said, "Oh, can I help you? You want something to eat?" So he said, "I'll take you to where I've just come from." So it was in the cellar, wasn't very out. But anyway, he introduced us. So then we had our meal down there, came out and again looking, where should we go? A young chap who was a student actually at Harvard. Said, "Can I help you?" Yes, we were looking for a loo. Oh, he said, "You've got to follow me," so we had to go into a hotel, of course.
Right.
When we came out, we were in the bar, and it was all businessmen, and they were all fighting to buy us a drink, This is good.
Amazing like that over there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
And but it went wrong when you got one day. Two of us didn't have any money, so we thought we'd go to this bar again.
Right.
And plenty of free drinks. Yeah. And the first one was a businessman, and came up and said, "I'm going to start a fight with that chap over there." He said, "Will you join him?" So we thought it was time to change our minds. That went wrong.
Yeah.
But yes, it was nice. And
So you were in the Navy all through the war?
Yes. It was the Fleet Arm branch.
Right.
But yes, see, in Boston, everything was free more or less for the forces. I mean, there were canteens and free tickets for shows. The chief policeman, he booked one of the theatres for the show that was on, because it was from New York, they were coming there. And he'd rent the whole place for anyone in uniform, And they said, "If you want any accommodation, I've got plenty of cells." Because he got a big...
So that photograph that you showed me of you yesterday with your cap on, that was at that sort of time? Was
yes. It's confusing really, because there was the sick bay and the writers and us had this cap, whereas the others had this 4.5 thing, but they were all the same rank. Right. It was just because it goes back to the early days when the heads of each department chose the uniform for their staff.
Right, I see.
Oh, the sick bay ones, yes, I thought. Some rather, but it was just convenient at times because you quite often gone to a place which was officers only.
Did you stay in the Navy after the war, or did you sort of...
No.
Is that when things changed?
It was when I was in for a year after armistice.
Oh, right.
Because he turned out to come round, you know.
So what happened after you finished in the Navy?
Well, that's when I contacted Alton, this Anglican community.
Right. What gave you the sort of feeling that you wanted to do something like that?
Yes, I gave you one of these yellow things, did I?
I'm not sure. Have a look. Oh, is there some... no, is it in that pile? Is it there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, there we are. Yes,
that tells you how I got from
lovely, right. That's great.
where I was born.
Okay,
and
excellent. Fine.
I wrote to them and
right.
They said there were several other hicks.
What year do you reckon you started your new life afterwards?
45, mustn't it?
45-ish.
The armistice was 1944, and
so 45 you started your new regime.
So I had a month's, 2 or 3 months leave, so I spent that at home with my parents and catching up with all the films I'd missed.
Yes.
Because there was a local cinema which had all these old films.
Right. So where was the first place that you were to do with the church in? What was it an abbey or?
Yeah, well,
it's all in there, is it?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And,
so we were okay on that.
So I went to them and they said they had me, and I knew them pretty well because I used to go there for weekends and things. You know. And in those days I could cycle from Southampton to there, but I don't think well.
No.
And so yes, and anyway, that says there it wasn't in too good a shape, and they put the bishop came along and put somebody else in charge, and after a few years he said, I can't do anything for you, you know, I'm afraid the community's no good. He said, I recommend you go somewhere else, or his community, so I said, no, mate. And it so happened that my uncle in Newport, he was the organist, he...
was that on your mother's side or your father's side?
Yeah, on my mother's side.
On your mother's side, right.
He was an organist, and his organist knew the organist at Quarr, so he got introduced.
Oh, right.
And so he also introduced him to some of these top organists. The one that Notre Dame to Paris. He, after the service, he go. Me? Anyway, actually, it was the day war broke out, or the day before that, one of the monks, of course, was round, you know.
Right.
And so, but anyway, I thought, well, Quarr's not a bad place, you know. And so at that time there was a publication I used to take, reviewing books. And one of them was that one of the monks at Quarr, which I've met then, had just written a book on letters to Anglicans. I thought, well, you sound full friendly, don't you? So I wrote to him and said, you know, come on and see you sort of thing, you know. And so he said, come down and had a from Aldershot, you know, Alton, you know, just above come down to either, but in those days there was trains down, you know.
Right.
And so I had a day with him and had a chat. And he saw the abbot, who was a Frenchman in those days, didn't like anybody. But, he arranged for me to come here to be instructed and received into the church. So,
do you have to go through a sort of period of training, did you?
well, yeah, I mean,
Lots to know.
normally you'd have to go to a parish priest, but I stayed in what is now the guest house.
Right.
In one of the big rooms, and I was received into the church, and then the nurse master said he asked me all right to come back, but I ought to go outside for a year first. So
More experience.
I went off outside, and I was like, I don't know how. My mother must have mentioned to somebody she knew about me learning French.
Right.
And she wrote one of the camps, you know, for the country house, that sort of thing.
Oh, right.
So I had a letter from him saying, you know,
so you went and stayed there, did you?
well, yeah.
A bit of highlight.
She,
do you remember where that was?
yes, well, no, not Peckham, oh, the other silly name. Double-barreled name, southern, middle of Midi.
Clermont-Ferrand. Yeah.
That's it.
Clermont-Ferrand.
It's that was the nearest
Right.
town. And so I stayed there. I was supposed to sort of work for me, keep, you know. I had a farm, but it was a very cockeyed farm. It was only the son and his mother. And of course the staff, you know. And it was the sort of place that advertises in My Lady, one of these posh
I know. Yes.
to enter families to go and stay there, you know. What they like,
So you got fluent in French then, did you, when you were there?
Well, I didn't really, because there was a girl
English speaker.
who was she had the choice of being a debutante or you'd go to France for 3 months.
Finishing.
And so she chose
or
that.
whatever.
She
Yes.
was rather posh, but was all right like that. I mean. And of course, there's all these things. If you go for someone to learn French, they want to learn English, you know.
Right. So you were speaking English to her?
Well, the Francois, he has apparently, the story is that his father was in the army, and he was on the other side, you know, he was either de Gaulle or he wasn't, you know, and he got shot by his officers. So, but yes, it was quite a nice place to be because their cook